What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation Portal and the top 4 accessories that I think everyone should have for theirs to make their experience the best possible. If you've never been to this channel before, I do reviews, how-tos, and unboxings of usually PlayStation and Xbox products, and then I've also been on a Legion Go kick lately, so if you're into that kind of stuff, feel free to come back for some more videos. If you're just here for the portal, that's totally fine too. Thanks for stopping in. But let's get started. So, accessory one that you absolutely should get on day one of owning a portal is a case, um, which I have this case. I got it off Amazon. Um, I know a lot of you want to get the official Power A PlayStation licensed case, but what I love about this case is it's very low profile. It's pretty much like all felt on the inside, including this flap. You got some storage for cables if you want, or your headphones, like if you use wired headphones, which I'll go into that in a little bit. Um, and it's got these little foam tips over here so that when you put it in there, it kind of like holds it snug, and keeps them from scratching. And then you can I just put it in top first, tuck it in like that, and then you can close it and zip it. It has a nice handle on it. Um, the buttons aren't pressed down, even though I have a little joystick extender on them. And you can carry it like that. And see how it's kind of indented in here? That just helps it be more low profile, so it kind of just fits perfectly. I feel like when I hold it like this, it's the size of my Legion Go 2. Um, but absolutely get a case. That's my first suggestion. I really like this one. I'll put a link in the description as to the brand. Um, it's it's um, I don't know the exact brand off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'll put it in the description though. So look for that in the description. It's very cheap. I think it was like 20 bucks on Amazon. Um, so must have in my opinion. The next ones I wouldn't deem as must haves, uh, but they just make the whole experience better. So number two, I would go with the Power A charger, which is right here. This is a docking station. I already did an unboxing video on it on my channel. Full unboxing and review. It's only like 8 minutes long if you want to check that out. But what I love about it is it charges. So you put this little charging adapter in the USB-C slot, and then you just set it on there and it charges. So, and it has different modes. So I have mine hooked up to my PlayStation, so it only powers on when my PlayStation's on, and then when I put my PlayStation in rest mode, it will um, it will only charge for 3 hours and then it shuts off. So I do that so that this isn't constantly being capped at 100%. It'll charge for 3 hours, which usually gets it to 100%, and then it shuts off. The PlayStation shuts off power to this, and and it works great. And then you just pick it up and play it, which I think is really cool. And then it's got some different modes on the back, and they're touch sensitive. So if I touch it, you can change the colors like that. And since mine is right next to my bed, I just put it to off because the last thing I want is that thing blaring colors in my face. So is it a must have? No, not necessarily, because you can literally just plug this into a USB-C charger um, and charge it. But it's just really nice to be able to just plop it down and it charges. And another thing you can do is if it's fully charged, you can kind of put it up straight like that and it sits good, but it's not actually charging. So if you're like, a battery freak and you're really worried about, you really want to stretch the longevity of the battery on this, then you can do that. You can take it off when it's at 100% or even like 80 or 90% and then just let it sit on there like that. So totally up to you. Um, What else? Okay, number 3, must-haves. I kind of think it's a must-have because I like comfort. But these, if you could see, are the Play Vital grips. They're basically like skins that you can put on, and they just stick. And you could take them off and reapply them, like if they don't get quite the way you want them to. Like, see, I have like a crease there, but it doesn't bother me. But these are by Play Vital. I believe it was like 15, $10 to $15 for these. So I'll link those in the notes as well. And they give it such a nice, comfortable grip, and they don't add much weight at all to it. The problem I have with like the cases that kind of stick over it, like Spidgen and different ones like that, is they add to the overall weight. And one of my favorite things about the PlayStation Portal is how light it is. It's so light because it's like a streaming only device. Whereas something like this, the Legion Go 2, I mean, this thing weighs over 2 pounds. So in comparison, I just love how light the Portal is, and that's one of the reasons I reach for the Portal a lot, is because of its lightness. So the last thing I want to do is add bulk to it and heaviness to it with cases. And there's some cases out there that really aren't, they might be like 4 ounces. So it's not going to make a huge difference. But I love these grips. I 100% endorse getting these. And they're really easy to stick on. They come with instructions. So you can definitely figure it out pretty easily. Okay, number 4, must have. This depends on income, right? So these are the Pulse Explore headset. They're earbuds. I kind of look at them almost as a must-have because they just add so much to the experience. And the reason I love the Portal, and I end up reaching for the Portal more than even my Legion Go 2, is this combination is the most like immersive, like handheld gaming, in my opinion, of all handheld gaming. So the Portal, if you've ever used it, it has the DualSense controller, and it works just like the DualSense controller on the PS5. So you have the haptic feedback vibrations, you have the adaptive triggers that have resistance and stuff depending on the kind of game you're playing, like trigger resistance, or if you're, say like on Cyberpunk, if you're driving as it's shifting gears, you can literally feel it like judder in the trigger and whatnot. It's just a really cool experience, and it's hard to explain. You just have to use one to understand how cool it is. So you already have that built into the Portal, right? You have the screen, which is it is a really good looking screen. Obviously, the Legion Go 2 is a OLED screen, so you're not going to get much better than that. I love this screen, but this is good enough to where I do come back to it, and I'm still using this probably the most. Um, and then you throw in the headset, or the Pulse Explorers, and I had the Elite headset as well, the Pulse Elite. What I love about the Explorers is I wear glasses, so they're light, and since they're earbuds and they're wireless, they just pop in your ear and you get really good sound, but it doesn't like feel like you're wearing headphones, right? Because when you wear over the ear headphones, obviously you can feel them on your head. So it just adds to the immersion. Now, the downside is Pulse Explorer headsets, earbuds are $200, which is crazy, right? Because the Portal's $200. So now we're talking $400 together. And these are the white ones, if you wanted to see. As you could tell, I just got these, so I'm going to be selling my white ones because, as dumb as it sounds, I just wanted everything to match. I hated having these, and then my Midnight Black Portal, and my PS5 Pro is also black. I did a plates video on that, putting the plates on. But you have to experience it to understand it. Can you use a wired headset? Absolutely. And it sounds fine if you get some wired earbuds. Of course. But for total immersion, I don't want wires. I want wireless, and there's no Bluetooth option, so you're out of luck there. Um, and these sound so good because they have that PlayStation 3D audio. If you go onto your actual console, you can change the EQ on this. So bass, treble, you can create custom profiles, highs, mids, lows, all that can be adjusted. And they have a couple preset ones that are okay. Um, and they sound good. Number two reason for these is they have dual connectivity. So they connect to the PlayStation Portal via PS Link, and then via Bluetooth, they connect to my phone. So I can have my iPhone sounds coming through. So text messages, a YouTube video playing in the background, whatever, and the sounds of my Portal coming through, which is awesome. But again, that's a very niche request. I get a lot of people probably don't even care about that. But what's cool, because since right now you can't stream on the Portal like Netflix or Spotify, I could play Spotify on my phone while I'm gaming and still hear game sounds, and then I could turn up the phone and just balance out how much music I want to hear and the how much of the game sound effects I want to hear. So I really, really like these. I know a lot of people hate on them. They are very expensive. You know, I think these should be maybe like 125, and I feel like they'd sell a lot more. $200 is a big ask for people, and I totally understand that. So I'd love to say this is a must-have, but for the average person, that's a big ask, and I totally get that. If you can do it, I suggest you do it. Try them out, and then return them if you don't like them. You know, if you're like, nah, not for me. Maybe it doesn't fit your ear right. Like I had to use the biggest ear tips to fit my ear comfortably, and get a good seal. But but yeah. So those are the top four suggestions. I will link each of them in the description. And if this video is helpful, please at least give it a like so it can spread around some more. Maybe hype it up. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. And I appreciate you guys taking the time.